The time is just gone 12 minutes past 9 as we continue with the broadcast this morning. If you have just tuned in, this is News and Views. I am Inayat Wadi with you this morning. And looking ahead at the next hour, what we can expect is shortly we will be addressing the issue of the blood shortage in the country, blood rationing, which is a strong possibility in this country as the high demand of blood across the country is made, but at the moment stocks are in a decline. So we will be talking with the South African National Blood Service. We'll be talking with the spokesperson Khensani Mahlangu shortly. We also will be talking with Islamic Relief South Africa this morning, sharing pertinent information on the current situation in Turkey and Syria in the aftermath of the devastating earthquake that had taken place. Salam Media journalist Zahid Jadwat making his way to Cape Town for the State of the Nation address, and we will be talking about his expectations of President Cyril Ramaphosa with SONA 2023. And towards the end of the show, we will be playing out a video clip this morning. Masiha Saluji, who is a humanitarian and an educator based in Syria, working with the refugee children. She will be obviously sharing what the latest issues are, because we have posed a number of questions to her in providing an overview of the earthquake, the impact on Syria, the region, the rescue efforts that are taking place, and how is this likely to impact on the refugee crisis in Syria. But right now, we're going across to be joined by Khensani Mahlangu, SANBS spokesperson. Khensani, good morning to you, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, Khensani, so much is happening in the country. There's just so much pain. There's so much suffering. People are concerned. We've got rolling blackouts. We've got ESCOM to deal with. We've got food shortages, people starving, people jobless. And to add to all our problems, this critical shortage of blood in the country.
Absolutely. So I think what we often forget is how dire the need is for blood transfusions for many people. I think we take for granted that the most majority of us can go on with our lives as usual, and we don't rely on blood transfusions really to lead healthy and normal lives. And often people need regular transfusion, maybe even once a week, just to be able to get up, go about their day, and go to school, go to work. And blood really is important. And it's not just at the moment where we're sort of facing this problem with blood shortages. It happens frequently, more often than we actually would like to see it happen throughout the year, where we find ourselves with very low stocks and struggling to pick back up. And I think it's important also to note at the moment that our stocks are not low just due to low donations, but we are also experiencing a high demand from the hospitals. So that is why our stocks are affected at the moment.
Well, certainly these demands would be high because when one looks at the demographics of this country, how it has actually changed over the years, we've got a lot more people to deal with in this country, and not only looking at South Africans, but we know people from all around the world have actually converged in South Africa, and I'm sure that is also adding to this high demand for blood in the country.
Absolutely. We have a higher demand, and I'm not sure how many people really know this, but it's only about 1% of South Africans who donate regularly to cater to the need of the entire country. So it's a very, very heavy burden to be carried by just 1% of our population. And every year we lose a portion of our donor panel due to aging, due to illnesses, and the like. So it is a very a heavy weight and burden carried just by a few. And that's why we're always really speaking to the South African public and calling for donations. And we don't just limit this to our current donors. We're always speaking to people who have the capacity and capability to donate, to really consider it and help us steady our stocks throughout the year.
Well, I must say I'm amongst it 1%, Kinsani, at this point in time. But the thing is, the stats are very, very low. I mean, 1% is actually shocking. And if one looks at standards, in other parts around the world, I'm sure that if we compare ourselves to other parts around the world where blood donations are being made, what would a norm, what would a standard be? Any idea, Kinsan?
So this varies from country to country, and I think the policies around blood donation really affect this to a great extent. Countries that do follow directives from the World Health Organizations, like ourselves, we would not compensate blood donation. And I think it's one of the comments and questions that comes up often. And as you rightly mentioned, our country is heavily burdened, and one of the problems we face is the economic system. You know, lots of people really need money, they need financial assistance, and they ask us, why can't we compensate donors for their donations? And unfortunately, the National Health Act makes it illegal for us to pay a donor for any donations, you know. So we are still facing a very tough road ahead, and calling for these voluntary, non remunerated donations is all we can do at the moment. Our hands are unfortunately tied, and we rely on the altruism of South Africans to get us by and to help those who need the blood that they will receive at the end of the day.
Well, this is for a worthy cause. This is for a humanitarian cause. And, one would question the morality of actually being compensated when one does something for fellow humanity. And I think that is also important. And that is what I suppose the 1% donors that this country has is they do it for the love of humanity. They're doing it to assist someone who is really in need, Kinsani.
Absolutely, this should come from the heart. And the majority of the most touching stories that we hear on a daily basis are those who were direct recipients of blood, or someone in their family received a transfusion. So they're the ones who really come forward and tell us how life changing this experience has been. And the to the point of this being altruistic, we really can't change it at the moment. You know, our heads really are tied. So we want people to really look into their hearts, and if it is at all possible for them to come and donate, we would love for that to happen. And also, a common challenge that people face is an inability to drive to a donor center or to go to a mobile blood drive at a mall or the like, which is why last year we launched a campaign, the Good Hood campaign, where we try to bring blood donation to the people. So this one is very easy. We just have someone go into our website or call our contact center. And if you have a minimum of about 30 people who are willing to donate on any given day, you fill in the form and give us your details. Thereafter, we will sort everything out. We will bring all the tools necessary to your space. So it could be a community hall, it could be a church, a mosque, anything of the like, or even a school where your child goes to school, or your workplace. So you just call us, you tell us, I have 30 people. We organize the rest. We come and we host the blood drive in your space, even in your homes, a complex, you know, we can come. We just need about 2 parking bays where we can set up, and the rest is done by us. So we want to see how we can help make it easier for the public as well.
Kinsani, as the SANBS, would you like to see a lot being done, a lot more being done to promote and market this campaign for blood donations? Because I think to a large extent, a lot is actually left to the organization itself in the drive for blood. And every time we hit these critical levels, and as we get to the dreaded term that we use, day zero, we know day zero what it is done with water, and how that campaign had actually gone. Now day zero as far as blood is concerned, would you like to see a lot more? Would you like to see the Department of Health, for instance, get a lot more involved, the government, for instance, to try and promote this culture of donating blood?
You know, I think the majority of our challenge here really is getting to people and getting them to understand the altruistic part of blood donation. But moreover, we rely heavily on platforms such as yours to actually get the message out. I think when we do engage people and we have these conversations in the public space, we do hear people asking questions, and you would be surprised at how many people actually do not know about blood donation, the process, who is eligible to donate, and all of that type of information. So we are very active on social media. We are getting out there. We want to do activations. We want to get out and speak to the people. So really, conversations is what is missing at this point, as well as platforms, just to be able to reach as many people as we can.
Yes. Now, just looking at the situation as it stands and this dreaded day zero, what is the state right now?
Right now, we are at 2.8 days blood stock. So anything below 3 days is a cause for concern. And I'm not sure if I had mentioned, but this has been ongoing for a couple of months. We usually have ebbs and flows throughout the year, and this is seasonal. At the moment, as I did mention, we are struggling with the high demand. So there's not enough people to actually come in and donate to help us meet this demand. At other periods of the year, it would be because people are maybe on holiday, which is why it was looking comfortable earlier in the year. But now that the surgeries are kicking back in and everyone's scheduling all their surgeries, we are seeing that the demand is high. So we are now calling on people to come in more than they actually have been. And if someone was maybe putting it off, to consider coming in sooner, just so that they could help us boost the blood stocks. But the situation changes, and there's a lot more to be done by all of us, the country included. So we will just have to see where it goes. But the situation, fortunately, is not anywhere near critical, but we are still calling that as many people as possible do come through. We want to see ourselves above 5 days, because if there were any situation, a major, how can I say, natural disaster, for instance, and we had to dispense a lot of blood, we would not have blood to reach anywhere near 3 days. So we would be able to cover only about 2.8 days, which is really cause for concern.
And I noticed you're talking about blood rationing. How would that work?
The rationing would work if the situation intensified any further. What would happen is that we would have to put in place cutbacks, which means that we would then, or rather, the medical institutions, such as the hospitals, would have to prioritize the high priority cases, so to speak. So it would be that only the individuals who are in dire need of blood are able to get it. And as I mentioned, we do have people who get transfusions weekly even, and those people, if they are not critically ill, would not receive that blood, and the impact on their health would be felt immediately.
Yes, and just giving you an opportunity to make that appeal once more. I know the campaign is on the go, the information is on your website, but just to appeal once more to people who are listening to come out, and where can they go?
Absolutely. Any potential donors, anyone who is currently donating, if you are due for donation, we would really love to see you visit us and make your donation. But also anyone who's thinking about donating blood. So that would be anyone between the ages of 16 and 75 who is above 50 kilograms in weight. If you are in good health and you consider your blood safe to transfuse to a patient, we are appealing to you directly. So you can find our donor centers all across the country except for the Western Cape. If you want to find your nearest donor center, you could find it on our website, sanbs.org.za. You go to the tab that says donors, and you will find a list of all the donor centers that we have. Alternatively, you can contact our call center on 0800 119 031. There you can ask any kind of questions you have around the process of blood donation, which will be answered. But also you could find your nearest mobile blood drive that will be happening in your area. So anytime this weekend, this week, or in the coming weeks, we already have schedules for that. So we can assist you as well. Plan around that so that you can see when would be ideal for you to make your donation in the next
Okay.
couple of weeks.
Well, Kensani, thank you very much for that and for taking time out and sharing what you have with us this morning. We wish you all the best. Take care.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Khensani Mahlangu with us this morning, spokesperson for the South African National Blood Service and blood shortages, talking about a possibility of blood rationing, and that percentage, that number needs to increase. Only 1% of the population donating blood, and I'm sure that there are many, many more right across the country to assist in doing something for humanity, and all it takes is going to be a pint of blood. The time is just gone 8:30. We're going to go for a break. We come back. We'll be, sorry, 9:30. We'll be joined by Abdul Alim Hamza, head of fund development at Islamic Relief South Africa.